And that's why from day one I said no special counsel, no finger pointing, no criminal prosecution. Let's have an independent, nonpartisan commission looking into this election. This election was not the finest hour. Whether there were infiltrators or spies put into the Republican camp, whether Strzok did have a hatred and an insurance policy, whether there was any cooperation with any Russian sources, we need to get to the truth. And the only way to get to the truth is an independent 9/11 type commission, and we have to prevent it from happening in the future. This election is a model of what should not happen in the future, and a special counsel is the worst way of getting to the truth.
But isn't there congressional oversight right now? I know there are a number of committees on Capitol Hill, largely run by Republicans who
want Democrats.
Right, exactly. But the Republicans are trying to get documents. They say the Department of Justice is not cooperating. The Department of Justice says, yes, we are. We're stuck.
Look, Americans do not trust congressional committees. The majority is partisan, the minority. It's what's good for the Republicans, what's good for the Democrats. Nobody asks the question what's good for Americans. And you need a nonpartisan commission of experts, people who really can dig into this, people who really have experience and who don't have an agenda.
Can't the president
finger pointing.
Well, I can tell you that nobody was ever interested in an informant. We asked for specific documents that we still have not received from the Department of Justice. So they continue to leak out things about this informant. And we don't know if there's one informant or more informants because there's so much out there now. It's really getting tough to follow. And all we're asking for is give us the documentation that you used to start this investigation.
And what you've been investigating is what exactly launched an investigation into so-called collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians. Is that right?
Yeah. So remember, we discovered that the dossier was used. So this is the dirt that they dug up that the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democrats used, and then it got to the FBI, and the FBI used it in a FISA. So we're trying to get to the bottom of, what else was used in that FISA, because you have many people within the Department of Justice who are claiming that we're wrong. So if we're wrong, show us the information.
Well, Jim Comey was interviewed by our own Bret Baier recently. You know that. And during that interview, Jim Comey said that there was more than just the dossier. Let's roll that clip. Listen to this, Mr. Chairman.
You called the dossier unverified, salacious. Why did you use that to the FISA court to ask for surveillance for Carter Page? Not only use it, but you led with it. A bulk of that FISA application deals with that dossier. Why?
Yeah, that's not my recollection, Brett. And I don't know that the FISA application has been released. My recollection was it was part of a broader mosaic of facts that were laid before the FISA judge to obtain a FISA warrant.
Broader mosaic of facts, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, we're looking for the pieces to Mr. Comey and the FBI's mosaic. So, they've continued to say that this didn't happen, even though we've had career prosecutors go and evaluate this. We released a memo that we made public for all of Americans to see that they had used this dirt that was bought and paid for, not verified before a FISA court. And then they continue to claim, no, don't look here. There's no FISA abuse at all. And they're in total denial. So we have a right to get the information if James Comey and many others and people that are currently at the Department